Alright, for some of you, this is welcome back. You might have seen some of my other videos. For those of you that this is the first one, my name is Corbin Cowan. I'm the founding partner of Franchise Equity Partners. And today I just want to cover a few myths of franchising. The first myth that I'm going to write here on the board is 95% of franchises are successful. I've heard many people in the franchise space spit this thing out, and so the fact of the matter is that franchises are there's a higher success rate of a franchise than there is of just going out and opening your own business, and those are some of the things that are reasons to look at franchising. But the reality is that 95%, that is absolutely craziness. So if you hear that from a consultant or from an area development rep or something like that, you might want to take note of that and run the other way, because they're really selling you hard at that point. All right. Another common myth is that, I'm going to get a different color here, is that number 2 is that you have to love the business model. And a lot of times when I'm working with people, I talk about a clean slate, right? Coming to the conversation with a clean slate to determine which franchise is right for you. Because the reality is that one of the most successful franchises out there right now is janitorial services, cleaning services, right? Well, I can assure you that I don't love to clean. But the business model is phenomenal. It's recurring revenue. It's ongoing. Everybody's using it. Right? So there's a tremendous amount of opportunity for success in something that you really don't love to do. So when you're looking at a franchise, be sure to keep a very open mind. You might come into the conversation wanting to open up a food concept, but then you realize that you want to be an absentee owner. So there's all sorts of different things that come into play when you're choosing the right franchise for you. Another key point here is that at Franchise Equity Partners, we're not franchise consultants. There's a whole industry of people out there that make their living selling franchises. What we do is we help people find funding, we help people find talent, we help people with all of the nitty-gritty details of franchising, and we do consult with them. And so there's a completely different mindset of somebody like me who owns over 20 franchises and operates them. The kind of dialogue that I'm going to be having with you as opposed to a traditional franchise consultant. So another myth is that you can't afford it. So that's really what Franchise Equity Partners is all about, is helping you as somebody that wants to get into the franchise space find the necessary funding, right? There's a lot of opportunity with the SBA lending. There's opportunities to use 401ks. And the whole concept of Franchise Equity Partners is that if you don't have enough to fund your franchise, but you've got the desire, you've got the energy, you want to work with a team, then we will partner you, hence the name partners, with other people that are just like you that want to get into business for themselves but don't have quite enough money. And so, the question that I often have is why go it alone? And we'll talk a little bit more about that in some additional videos. So my last one is that you will know which franchise is for you. And this is almost always completely false. So traditionally, when I speak to somebody that's been looking into franchising, they've gone to a whole bunch of different internet sites, they've filled out a whole bunch of forms, they've clicked on a whole bunch of stuff, they've done some research on maybe a cycle bar franchise or maybe a burger franchise or something like that, and they come to me and they think that they've figured out what it is that they want to do. But the reality is that the way you need to look at this is you need to really take a deep dive into what you want your lifestyle to be like. And until you really get to know the business models of these franchises, you can't really determine whether it's right for you or not. So a perfect example is I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and he wanted to have he came to me with a particular concept. But through the conversation, I figured out that he really wanted to be an absentee owner, right? Well, this particular concept is only successful with owner-operators that are wanting to work in the business on a daily basis. That's what makes that particular brand of franchise successful. Whereas I was able to steer him towards 2 or 3 other concepts that are truly, more passive type investments. The other key element for him was that he didn't want to go it alone. And so we were able to partner him with a couple of other individuals. One of them wanted to be that franchise operator. So they wanted to work in the day-to-day business. They wanted a job. And so it worked out to where those individuals could get together and become partners. One person work in the business, and you got a couple of absentee owners. So those are the kinds of things that we do at Franchise Equity Partners that are really non-traditional in this whole space of franchise consulting. So we'll come back here shortly with another great video. And until then, if you want to get in touch with us, go to franchiseequitypartners.com. And you can reach me directly at Corbin@franchiseequitypartners.com.